Sports coverage of the NFL has us at the foot of the Rockies, just west of downtown Denver at Empower Field at Mile High. Coming up, we got a good matchup on tap here, as it'll be the Tennessee Titans taking on the Denver Broncos. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Before kickoff, Charles, quickly your keys to the game.
Well, partner, I could give you the standard ones: turnovers, special teams play. But here's one that doesn't get talked about much anymore, and that's time of possession. Whoever controls the football, gives their defense a break, and takes care of business, that's the team that's going to win this ball game.
And off we go from Denver. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. So the Titans set to go to work for the first time. Leading them out is their rookie quarterback, the young man out of Miami.
The number 1 overall pick in April's draft. What an unlikely story to get to that spot. A zero-star recruit out of high school, the University of Incarnate Word, to Washington State, to Miami, and he comes into the league as Division I's record holder for most passing touchdowns in a career with 158. The Tennessee franchise now revolves around him and his development.
The first carry now for Tony Pollard. He finds a little bit of room, enough for 4 yards. It'll be second down.
Nice chunk of yards on first down. It really opens up your options for what you want to do on second. You go right back to him and hope he explodes, or sucker the defense in before throwing over the top.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. They go play action with Ward. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he's out of bounds, able to take this one up to the 35. He'll go down as a gain of 6. And that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives him a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
They'll go with a keeper. And he will have a Titans first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And the Titans first down.
I don't know about you, but I like this call. 3rd and inches, and instead of worrying about getting it back to a running back and maybe there's some penetration from the defensive front, just go ahead and take it, move forward, and pick up the first down.
And as we say often, shows confidence in your offensive line. Off the bootleg, Ward. Now a run here off the RPO. He'll keep it. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there.
You know what I like about that play? He didn't try to do too much on first down. He took what the defense gave him, put together a solid gain to bring up 2nd and manageable. Now they have a couple of plays to pick up just a few yards and a new set of downs.
They run straight ahead here with Pollard. And he's taken down, but not before he gets to the Broncos' 27-yard line. 31 yards there and a first down.
First down. A gain of 31 yards. And the Titans.
Once he broke through that first wave of defenders, there was a pretty big gap there for him to run.
And it helps that they were in a dime defense. That's 6 defensive backs. So this is why a lot of teams now are searching for those linebacker safety combo type guys who can add a little bit more size on the defensive side of the ball, but can still run as well, because when you run against 6 DBs with some bigger offensive linemen, you often get this result.
They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Pretty straightforward play there by the linebacker. He saw the run, went with straight ahead pursuit and dumped him behind the line of scrimmage.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. This one brought in by Jefferson. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. Good work after the catch. Gets him 15 and a first down.
What a drive this has been, just chewing up the yardage. And here's one of their best plays yet as they finally get down into the red zone and look to finish this off with 6.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. Pollard will take it up the gut. display of powerful running, but it takes him only to the 7. He's dropped there. 40 yards rushing for him now to this point.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
4 yards to go on second down from the 7. To throw is Ward. And into the end zone for a Tennessee touchdown. Calvin Ridley, a 7-yard touchdown grab. And the Titans get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. Those are the drives that prove a lot. You got a rookie quarterback, Charles. You're on the road, takes him down, throws the touchdown pass.
And in a game like this, with, as you described, a rookie quarterback, the team usually says, okay, we got to take care of this guy. We got to protect him. But when he goes out and plays like this on the first drive on the road, he doesn't have to say, I'm here to be your leader. They just need to follow him.
An extra point by Sly is up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. So that drive consumes 9 plays all told. And it's Calvin Ridley who finishes it off with a touchdown reception. Joey Sly now to kick off after the touchdown. And he takes this near the 25, just a little pass there, call it the 26. And now it looks like he's in some discomfort after being tackled at the end of that return. We'll step aside and get a report when we come back to Denver. Looking to put a drive together. To throw, here's Nix. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down.
It's easy to see when we review this that the ball needs to come out quicker, because if you don't throw it right on the break, you bring a crowd of people into the equation.
And that's why it got knocked away there. 2nd and 10. Here's Nix. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
Brings up 3rd down.
Not a great start dropping his first target, but let's face it, it won't be his last chance because he'll get opportunities to make up for that one throughout this game.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Throwing Nix. Pressure comes, and the Titans able to bring him down. And the defense coming through on 3rd down, a loss of 7 to bring up 4th. The start of this game shaping up nicely on that visiting sideline.
Yeah, how about that? You get your points on the opening drive, then you get a big sack there on 3rd down, and you make the home crowd go, shh.
There is a hush indeed. On 4th down, out is the rookie 6th-round pick, Jeremy Crawshaw, to punt. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. DK to return. A 41-yard punt, 9 on the return, and it'll be Titan football. The Titans coming back onto the field for their 2nd drive. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. I mean, look, they're on the road. So getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road, taking the crowd out of the game. It'd be ideal.
So the drive's going to start with Pollard. And just 1 yard here from the 49 to the 50.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature and make sure you don't get hurt.
Play fake. Here's Ward. That's to the tight end Helm. And he is going to lose yardage here. They'll wind up losing 3 here on the play. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11.
In today's NFL, we're accustomed to the tight end getting downfield and creating plays and wreaking a little havoc in the secondary. Not on this one, though. They diagnosed that one really well.
Tried the dump off, lost yardage. Now Ward. Throw right side, caught by Ridley. They'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Excuse my snarkiness here, but isn't the idea of completing a pass supposed to mean you get downfield and gain yards?
Especially on 3rd down.
Yeah, that one. How about the defense? Figured that one out in a big way. Yeah, they completed it all right and lost yardage.
So on 4th down, here's Johnny Hecker to punt it away. He'll send this one into the mile-high air, and it's a good one. And this will do the job nicely, as that'll be out of bounds just inside the 10-yard line. So now the second drive offensively coming up for the Denver Broncos. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
On the run, this is J.K. Dobbins. And able to steer clear of that first tackler as he works his way forward for about 4.
Well, at the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Burton. And brought down, but not before they're able to get it up to the 25. The Bronco first down there, 12 yards on the play.
It's pretty easy to overlook the fullback when you're making your assignments defensively in the pass coverage game, but in this case, they made them pay for that oversight and picks up a nice gain.
On 1st and 10, it's Dobbins. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game. And that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
Next to the air. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. That'll leave him with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
Partner, I like the play call coming right after a tackle for a loss, because this is an obvious passing situation, but instead they fooled them a little bit with the screen, and they wound up getting back what they lost and then a little bit more.
To throw is Nix. That is caught. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. It's his first catch, and it'll be good for 15 and a first down. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage, so they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
They'll get that complete to Franklin. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line. Tackled there. 12 more yards there and another first down.
Boy, everything clicking on this drive. He's 4 for 4 now, and that throw, maybe the best of the bunch. This offense is really humming, and they pick up another first down.
So operating from Tennessee territory now. Here's 1st and 10, right at the 40. He's got this one complete to Sherfield. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10. 6 yards on the play.
It's not often that you'll find offensive and defensive guys that'll agree on much, but one place they find common ground, you've got to protect or attack the middle of the field. And no one was there. What a big play, moving it downfield.
J.K. Dobbins taking it in for 4 yards out. And the Broncos go coast to coast and finish the drive off with 6 points. Finishes off the drive with a touchdown run, Charles. Remember, he also had a catch on this drive as well.
And that's what running backs want to be in today's NFL. A complete back. 3 downs, stay on the field, run it, and catch it. And he gets it done.
Will Lutz on for the point after. It's up and good. So these teams match touchdowns here in the first quarter, and we're tied 7-7. So only even at 7 now as they kick it away. Well, now how about this return? And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. And Charles, a very uninspired effort. The last time we saw them out there was a quick 3 and out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
Looking to put a drive together. They'll run with Pollard to begin the drive. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. 62 yards rushing for him as he's got the afternoon off to a great start. Boy, some big runs here, Charles, already in this first quarter.
Yeah, if the lanes are there, go ahead and exploit them. But what I like the most, how decisive he is, putting his foot in the ground and going.
First down, and it's Pollard again. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
And he takes it down to the 40 with a pickup of 4.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
The first down line at the 34 here on third down. To throw, here's Ward. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
I love those corners who can not only cover, but don't mind getting a little physical as well. How about the coverage on that play, knocking that pass away?
So now on comes the field goal unit, and wow, this is no ordinary try here. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt. And that is no good. He gave it a good run. That wasn't more than a foot or so wide to the left. And in this first quarter of play, this will remain a tie ball game.
Well, Brandon, anything beyond 50, you start rolling the dice a bit. And once you get up around 57, 58 yards, the chances of making it go down dramatically. And sure enough, this one winds up no good.
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 on their side of midfield at the 47. On play action, here's Nix. A short throw to Ingram. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
From just across the midfield stripe, here's a 2nd down and 6. Here comes Dobbins on the toss right. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7 as that one officially a loss of 1.
Let's face it, that's just a helpless feeling for a running back there. He's looking up to find a hole, and all he finds is a whole lot of ticked-off linebacker.
Seven, our score after 1. Second quarter about to begin from Denver. It's the Broncos in possession of the football. Now 3rd down and 7. As they've got it as we resume action. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Nick's going to keep this himself. So no sack. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, but it'll still bring up a 4th down.
Well, I can spin this negatively as he just got back to the line of scrimmage, but when you really analyze it, he took away a big play for the defense, made it an uneventful run because he avoided a sack and didn't lose yardage.
On 4th down, Jeremy Crawshaw on to punt. Yeah, he was looking for the checkup bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback. Out come the Titans now. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline, they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, well, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
Now a fake on the jet sweep, and off the play action, he'll look to throw it. And that is caught. It's Ridley. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. Great way to start the drive. 20 big ones and a 1st down.
It's a gain of 20. 1st down, Titans.
Certainly no settling into the drive there. They came right out on the first play and attacked the middle of the field for a big gainer and a 1st down.
Ward off the play fake. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete.
Well, that's a defensive coordinator's got to be happy with that result. They took away all options downfield and forced the incompletion.
Here's 2nd and 10. Here's Ward. A short throw taken in by Okonkwo. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 17 yards on the catch and run. It's a 1st down.
1st down. It's a gain of 17 yards.
And it's a real luxury when you have a guy who can turn a short throw into a solid gain at any moment. Once he caught that ball, he ID'd where the open grass was and got there in a hurry to pick up a new set of downs for his offense.
They'll let the quarterback keep it here on 1st and 10. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
And if you like defensive football, focus on the defensive end on this play. He does everything exactly right. Reads the play and makes sure he spills it for a small gain.
2nd and 7. Now a a shotgun handoff to Pollard. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher third down looming.
Oftentimes when you see a running back get bunched up in the backfield, it's usually because the defensive tackle is eating up blockers for others to make the play. Not in this case.
Ward. He'll let this go for the end zone. And oh no, it's incomplete. That's a touchdown if he holds on, but somehow took his eyes off of it, falls to the ground, and brings up 4th down.
That's some good closing speed there defensively because that looked open for a minute. But that's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
So on now is Johnny Hecker to punt this one away. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. And this will depend on the spot as it sails out of bounds. And they'll say it sailed out at the 10-yard line. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. Defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10. Looking to put a drive together. We'll start with a handoff to Dobbins. We've seen that before. Jeffrey Simmons making a stop behind the line.
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty. But when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. Now it's Nix. And he's going to have the hook up with Sutton. So the completion good for just 3. And that brings up 3rd and a full 10 yards.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
From the gun on 3rd down, Nix. He had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete. Had to pass there, 3rd and long on your own side of the field. Just couldn't come up with anything.
That's why teams always talk about having to win the early downs, meaning you've got to gain yardage and set yourself up for 3rd and short, because when it's 3rd and long, the odds go down significantly trying to pick up the first down, even throwing the football.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. It's a 43-yard punt, a return of 5. And this offense takes over in great shape right at the 50, 1st and 10. Here's Tennessee ready to begin this drive offensively. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
Throwing now, Ward. He's going to take a shot right away for the end zone. And this ball incomplete. Looked very much to be a catchable ball. Could not hang on. 2nd down coming up.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
Now a give here to Pollard. Despite the strong run, he'll be hit and dropped shy of the 45. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. Pretty good little 2-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or 2 because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
Throwing is Ward. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Titans first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
That's good. Titans first down. A gain of 14. First down, Tennessee.
So he turned to a a trusted, familiar face in that third down situation. It paid off.
Yeah, you go to your veteran receiver in that spot, so you can't underestimate him when he's on the field. Defensively, make sure you know where he is because he understands how to get open in key situations.
They'll go with Pollard here on first down. Now, he just danced away from that one defender on his way to a gain of about 7 yards.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
From the 25, here's 2nd and 3. He's going to use his legs here. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. He'll lose a yard on the play, so now they need 3 yards on third down. Not a lot of success to be found there.
Oh, you got that right, partner, because if you're trying to make guys miss about 10 yards or so downfield, that's a pretty good play. But if you've got to do it in your own backfield, I consider that a problem. That doesn't work too well.
And that is incomplete. Good work by that Bronco defense, and it leads to a 4th down.
Coverage was awfully tight there on third down. They actually closed off all the passing lanes, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
On 4th down, on is the veteran, Joey Sly for the Titans field goal. This a 43-yard attempt. Sly able to put this one through. And they take the lead here now at 10-7. So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
After the made field goal, here's Sly to kick this one away. And he won't quite make it to the 25. And Denver getting set to take the field. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. This drive starting off on the right foot, 18 yards.
Well, certainly as a fan, you get a little bit nervous when you see him make those kind of throws. But they work on that in practice more than we know. And most of them now know their limits and know what they can get away with. And there's a completion right there.
A give up the middle to Dobbins. And good vision there as he's across midfield and down to the 45-yard line. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive they went 3 and out.
So operating from Tennessee territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. They'll go again with Dobbins. Dancing away at the 35. On a nice burst there as he'll take this inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays.
Would you say this offense is locked in right now?
They're having no trouble on this drive. What is it, 3 plays, 3 first downs?
Yeah, you talk about on the march. They keep this up, they'll get to that end zone real fast.
And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards.
Well, this is a defense that's definitely on their heels now because they gave up the running play for good yardage 1 play ago. Now the pass here sets this offense up 1st and goal. They're going to have to dig in strong now because they've been in retreat so far in this drive. This offense on the march.
And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. J.K. Dobbins with his his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Broncos have taken the lead. So a toss play there does the trick as he's into the end zone.
And you don't run this unless you're sure you've got a guy who has the speed who can get to the edge, because what you're hoping for him to win the race to the corner and turn it upfield to the end zone.
Lutz to try to add the PAT. And that makes it 14-10. 5 plays there on that drive. And it's finished off by a touchdown run from J.K. Dobbins. Touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. The Titans offense and running back Tony Pollard set to go back to work. He's been a tough man to stop in this first half. He's putting up some big numbers already, and we have yet to reach halftime. Tennessee offense about set and ready to go. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you've met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. And they'll send the tight end in motion here. Here's Warren. From the gun, he'll throw. So no gain on the play. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
And this offense on 3rd down today, they've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This will be 3rd and 15. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. Boy, a nice play there as they wind up converting on 3rd and 15.
Scored their touchdown earlier, and this had a chance to be another. This secondary scrambling for answers, looking at each other, trying to figure out who is going to put the clamps on this guy, because right now, he's absolutely shredding them.
It'll be a handoff to Pollard. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and no more. No gain on the play there, 2nd down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Now a 2nd and 10. Back to throw. Moore. A short throw taken in by Conquo. And he'll get maybe a couple before he's taken down, as that will take us to the 2-minute warning. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Here comes 3rd down and 7. Looking to throw. Moore. A short throw taken in by Conquo. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts. So as they talk it over, we step aside. Here's Johnny Hacker now as he's on to punt for Tennessee. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds. J.K. Dobbins leading the way as the offense returns to the field. He's been good. His guys are winning. So far, the recipe working here in the second quarter.
He doesn't like to just tote the rock. He wants to carry his team on his back, and that's what he's done throughout this game.
Yeah, he's done that. He'll be hoping to continue that trend. Throwing to start the drive. Nix. Looking left side. He's got it. Complete. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a second and about a foot.
Second and inches at the 19-yard line.
Operating from the gun. Nix. Able to make something out of nothing there. 17 yards and a first down.
A gain of 17 yards. And the Broncos first down.
Facing second and short, that gives you a chance to go for a bigger play through the air. But I think he said to himself, why not just handle this one? Got all the yards you needed and then some, and made that snap a huge success.
Nick's going to keep this himself. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's second down.
I certainly like what he did right there because he smartly wanted to avoid forcing anything downfield because nothing appeared to be open. Nice harmless slide there to avoid the big hit, and he gets a small gain on the play.
Yeah, they were looking to set up the screen, but that's going to be incomplete. Almost wound up going the other way. Well covered defensively, and it'll bring up third down.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up, not that time. From the gun on third down, Nix. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Targeting Dobbins again, and he's got it again. And he's got this down a yard or two shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds. So the completion good for 6 yards, and it'll be second down.
Not only did we just see back-to-back nice gains, but we're also seeing the confidence rise, not just for the guy who caught it, but the guy throwing it as well.
And these back-to-back catches here out of the backfield, that can set something up downfield in a later sequence, right?
A lot of the time, it starts to draw the defense closer to the line of scrimmage. So to your point, show this swing pass, show this check down. Maybe later on you heave one deep when you catch him close to the spot.
First and 10.
And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. This will be from 49 yards out. The kick by Lutz is good. And that moves him up by a touchdown now at 17-10. So a late 3 there, and that'll help as they head into the break.
Talk about situational football and something they've worked on since the OTAs and mini camps the previous summer. They take care of the ball, get 3 points, knowing they're going to get the ball to start the second half. That's the old 2-for-1 special to finish things off.
So still time for the kickoff here. 1 second to go in the half as this one is away. And they will not get a chance to return this one. It's through the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Titans offense set to begin the drive. 1 second, all that remains. Ward now. A final shot before break. A short throw taken in by Okonkwo. And he'll go out of bounds, it looks like, right at the 40. So halftime straight ahead. It is time to join our good friend Scott Hansen. He's got our EA Sports halftime report.
All right, Brandon, thanks much. Welcome in, everyone, to the downtown Orlando studios. Scott Hansen and crew with you for a short and sweet halftime, as this game's had a little bit of everything to it. We'll find out which side can establish some tempo in the third quarter as we're ready to kick off the second half. Back out to our commentary team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Scott, thank you. And this one's still anybody's game. We'll see who can come out with a hot hand in this second half as we are about to get underway. One touchdown is the difference. 17-10 our score, and we are back underway on EA Sports. Stopped up at the 25. The Broncos offense set to begin this third quarter. We have not seen much on offense here from either side these last few drives. We've hit a wall, so to speak.
And have hit it hard, haven't we? Because the defenses right now, they seem to be a step ahead, don't they? Beating them to the point of attack, beating them to the punch. These offensive guys, they're tinkering like crazy. What's it going to take to get back on track?
Yeah, both sides searching for adjustments. Second half starts with a run by Dobbins. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
How about the big guy there showing some agility? Just flowed from his D-tackle position in order to make that play.
They had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. Another run here with Dobbins. And he'll take this up to the 30, a gain of 4.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
They'll come up facing 3rd and 5. Back to throw. Nix. Now he's going to step up and run. And he will have a Broncos first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
It's a gain of 16 yards. And the Broncos first down. 1st and 10 at the 46-yard line.
Well, he and his offense were staring down what was likely a 3 and out. Zero fear from his side, though. Never doubted for a second they pick up the first. He's ready to pull the trigger on a keeper the moment it revealed itself.
Will run up the gut with Dobbins. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. 1 yard and now no yards. Have him looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. And they'll bring him down right at midfield, and he is well first down. 3 yards, all they could muster there, and it'll bring up fourth down.
Boy, that was certainly well-read defensively, and the key to any screenplay is space to work, and there was none to be found there, and they tackle him for just a short gain.
Now on fourth down, on is the punt team sending this one away. They'll call that a 33-yard punt with no return. And the Titans will be backed up deep to begin the drive as they take over first and 10. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. And their defense did its job by forcing the punt to start things out. And now, Charles, can the offense get in gear?
I think, partner, you can sense them saying, okay, the first half was theirs, but now let's get the momentum back on our side. We forced a punt. Now let's go downfield and score. If we do that, we'll be set up well for this second half.
And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. The catch and run there, good for 16 and a first.
That's good. Titans. First down. First and 10 at the 31-yard line.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
They'll run left with Pollard. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
How about the job there on the outside? Shed the wide receiver and was able to make the tackle on the perimeter.
So their task a little bit more difficult now. 2nd and 13 that they're walking up on. Lockett the man in motion. Now they'll fake the jet sweep here and throw out play action. No gain on the play, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. They caught it right at the line of scrimmage, and before he could even think about advancing it forward, he got hit.
Great tackling, because that's what you're taught. Don't give up yards after the catch, and most offenses make a living off of yards after catch. Those hidden yards that may not go into the score sheet, but they count big for moving the ball and stretching the field. Really nice open field tackle.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He's got his target. That's complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. Able to convert on 3rd and 14. A terrific play call.
First down. First and 10 at the 48-yard line.
Well, this is an awfully tough route to defend in man coverage because he lines up on the right and then runs a crossing route back to the other side of the field. So as a defender, you're not only trailing him the whole way, you're also looking out for your own guys to make sure you don't get yourself picked off. And then you can't catch up in time to prevent the completion.
It's complete to Lockett. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory. Down at the 31. They toss it down to Pollard. 76 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turn around and tossing it to the runner. But where the real intrigue is, can they seal the edge? Whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end in the direction they want to run the football. If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a gain. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play.
And now a fake there on the jet sweep as they'll give to Pollard. And he's going to take this one down to about the 23-yard line. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a 3rd down. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. To throw is Ward. And it's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Tennessee.
Touchdown.
Van Jefferson, 23 yards for the touchdown. And the Titans are an extra point away from evening this one up. There was a lot of zip on that pass, and baseball might have called that a frozen rope.
I like it when you bring the diamond into the game. I'm going back to the gridiron. Had some heat on that bad boy. Sometimes you throw a touchdown pass, and sometimes
you throw, what, a touchdown strike?
There you go. That's my man, in concert.
Sly on for the extra point. And he gets it to go, and we're all even, 17 apiece. So that drive goes 8 plays. And it was all capped off by the Van Jefferson touchdown reception. So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Denver's offense ready to go again. We got a brand new ball game, all even after that last touchdown, so every drive now becoming a little more critical here in the second half. Looking to put a drive together. They'll start on the ground with Dobbins. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Sometimes I think these defensive tackles get a little bit of a bum rap. We just see them as big guys that eat up blockers for others to make tackles. Oftentimes they're quicker than they get credit for. And this time he uses quickness to make a play.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. To throw, here's Nix. They set up the screen for Dobbins. And they're able to get this one across the 35. That one good for 13 and a Denver first down.
Well, they certainly had success throughout this contest, getting him the ball in the passing game, and there he picks up another first down. Whatever they saw going into this one, they've been able to capitalize on it, and no adjustment has been made to take it away.
Here's Nix. A short throw to Ingram. And he was able to shed one tackle, but could not get away from there. They'll wind up getting just a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
Here now, 2nd and 9 from the 39-yard line. They'll go play action with Nix. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. A nice pickup of 17 yards.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and of course, foot dragging.
Little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
Now a handoff for Dobbins. He's able to force his way through one man, but he can muster only about a yard on the play. 2nd down.
Oh, there's plenty of traffic waiting for him up the middle. But give him credit, he tried barreling through anyway. They're fortunate to get a yard out of that one.
From the 43, here's a 2nd and 9. Here's a give to Dobbins. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. 58 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 13 times.
Another Broncos first down. 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Throwing Nix. And the screen unsuccessfully dropped it.
This is certainly a team that has proven it likes to target its backs through the air, and defensively, they were aware of that and certainly were prepared on that throw.
Third quarter, all tied up. This is 2nd and 10. Nix to the air. And he comes back with one complete. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Titans' 14. A good pick up there of 20 yards.
What an intelligent play as he found open grass and uncovered quickly. A nice clutch play to move the chains. The defense, they've got to do a much better job of accounting for these shorter routes.
First carry now for Julian McLaughlin. And they get to him quickly here as he stops right around the 13. Cody Barton there to bring him down. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Dobbins running out of the gun. Now he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard, so it's back to 3rd and 10.
That's a play to take note of there for the defense, I think, in the future. If you're going to try and block him, maybe you get a guard to help double team him and try and steer him out of the play. They should have done it on that snap.
To throw is Nix. Got a man and he hits him in stride. And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. A 14-yard touchdown. And the Broncos have broken the tie.
Partner, remember that old film of Peyton Manning going through the route tree with his great receivers in Indianapolis? I think we're seeing the results of the same type of work here today. These guys know each other so well, they don't even have to call the play. They can just look each other and know the route that's going to be run, and usually the connection is perfect.
Lutz will look to add the extra point. And they will take a 7-point lead now. A pretty long drive that time, 11 plays all told. And it culminates in a touchdown by the Broncos. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. A lot of time for this unit to game plan on the sideline after that drive that they watched the other side just score. But remember, last time they were out, they scored as well. We'll see if they can seize that momentum right back.
And they have had a lot of time to cool off from reaching the end zone the last time. So have they been able to keep themselves mentally sharp and into this game, even though they haven't been on the field? And you and I both know, one big play, though, gets them right back up to that level.
And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down. Third quarter of a tight football game as we come up on a 2nd and 10. Play action now, Ward. And this throw incomplete. And the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down.
With a dime look on defense, 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
Well, this is where the mile-high air really starts to affect an opposing offense. Guys moving a bit slowly here. It's 3rd and long. And that will be incomplete.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
Here's Johnny Hacker now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Broncos take over, 1st down and 10. The Broncos offense and Bo Nix getting set for this next possession. And he's been a nightmare to scheme against throughout this one. This defense has been totally taken apart, and that is borne out in his numbers. He's been terrific all game long. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
As a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due, because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
Yeah, because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football. Operating from the gun, Nix. And he will find his man Sutton. That's complete. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this 3rd quarter. To Denver. It's Bronco football, and they also have the lead here as we get set for the 4th. On 1st and 10, it's Dalvin. And he's going to be stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. Nothing there for him. 2nd down. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it. And the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
And his throw here is incomplete.
It's now 3rd down and 9 yards to go.
This offense so far on 3rd down, they're at 50%, 4 for 8. This is 3rd and 9. Looking to throw. Nix. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the number one thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
The Broncos send out their punter now. They'll boot it away from about his 35. They'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. No returning this one. It sails out of bounds, and they'll spot it right at the 20. And the Titans getting set to go. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled-out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
And that is incomplete. The coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
I certainly thought he had an open look beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Now Ward. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And fortunately for him, he's able to get it back, but it will be a loss on the play. Fortunate to get that football back, because trailing here in the second half, last thing they needed was to lose the possession.
And the word I think of here is opportunity, because it could have been lost there, their chance to score points. But the opportunity for the defense was to go ahead and really close this game down if they were able to get possession.
So possession still theirs, but now they face a 3rd down. Out of the gun to give to Pollard. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
Well, that was a 3rd long run, and to me, that was just a wave the white flag kind of a situation. Obviously, they don't want to risk the chance of throwing it downfield and risking a turnover in this section of the field.
Here's Johnny Hecker now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And a fair catch is taken here, a step or two inside the 45-yard line. A 40-yard punt, no return, and it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Good starting position for the Broncos here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 45. The drive will commence with a run by J.K. Dobbins. And he's swallowed up right near the line of scrimmage. That tackle by Jeffrey Simmons.
And for the defense, this is a spot where you don't want to totally sell out to stop the run, but you do have a pretty good idea of what you're going to see. And that's good work right there to keep them in check on that 1st down carry.
Off the play fake, here's Nix. And that's going to be too high. Out of bounds and incomplete.
Just because you got the lead in the 4th, it doesn't mean you have to play it safe. I like the aggressive play call there to push it downfield. That time, it didn't work out.
They come up to the line now facing a 3rd and 10 after the incompletion. Working out of the gun is Nix. And that is incomplete, but a penalty flag coming in. This could be a 1st down. So instead of 4th down, 1st down.
Well, so much for winning the down, you put a lot of emphasis on, because 3rd down is key for offense and defense. Instead, you're going to stay on the field and start a new set of downs.
Now Dobbins. And he'll bring this one inside the 35. And I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Now Dobbins again on 2nd down. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there, and on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing, in a situation where they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously, but at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well.
A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Broncos 1st down. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Good gain there on 1st down, and keeps them in a running situation probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him. He ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds and keep the clock rolling. They're in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively. After a gain of 5, they'll wind up being about a length of the football short here on 3rd down.
That was a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
Just a yard, but that's all they needed. And by the slimmest of margins, it'll be 1st and goal.
There may have been a little bit of an element of surprise there. 3rd and inches, and they go quarterback sneak. I still feel like this is a play that often is reserved for 4th down.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
In the red zone, precision is the watchword. If the throw's a little too early, too late, maybe off a little bit, going to be a good chance that any attempt is going to be a contested one, and that one falls incomplete.
Another shot from the 9 on 2nd and goal. Off the bootleg, here's Nix. And he's got his man in stride, complete. They'll get this halfway home from the 8 to the 4 on a gain of 4.
That was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, 3rd and goal. And they'll try and run the option to pick it up. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. Bo Nix, a 4-yard touchdown scamper. And the Broncos have opened up a 2-touchdown lead here in this 4th quarter. Well, that's certainly going to bump up the old win probability index because now it's a 2-score game here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, you're taking me into that deep water now. Win probability index. This game's definitely not over. We're not looking at a 0.5% or something. It's just 2 scores. But the way that this team has played, to me, what I've seen, they absolutely deserve to win this game. They've been the better team by far throughout.
Lutz with the extra point. And the lead now up to 14. So that one a long 11-play drive. And it results in a 4-yard touchdown run. Touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. Here's Tennessee ready to begin this drive offensively. The last series for them, a little disappointing, forced a punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive, 1st and 10. Looking to put a drive together. To throw, here's Ward. They'll set up the screen for Spears. And they'll wind up getting this to the 37. Gain of 9.
And when you have success throwing the football, the old cliche becomes true. The playbook opens up wide. And these screen passes, they become even more difficult to stop.
Options galore here, 2nd and a few inches. From the shotgun, it's Ward. A short throw taken in by Conquo. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a 1st down. 4th quarter, every drive so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the 2nd touchdown. You got the 1st one for the 2nd one to even matter.
Ward. And the Broncos get there and take him down. John Franklin Myers, the one in there to drop him.
assortment of sacks in this game. This one the product of a good jump and terrific effort. Moves quickly off the snap of the ball. Doesn't let up until he's in the backfield and impacting the quarterback.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Here's Ward. Throwing, completing, quick to Calvin Ridley. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards. And that's going to set up a tough 3rd and 9. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Ward from the gun on 3rd down. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up 4th down.
From a defensive perspective, they had exactly what you want anytime they want to throw the football. There was pressure on the quarterback. They were getting after him, and they tightened down on the receivers and forced the incompletion.
Ward to throw for it on 4th. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And he will score. Touchdown, Titans. Calvin Ridley with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Titans have made it a one-score game again here in the 4th. When you're trailing in the 4th quarter, you got to take some chances you might not normally take, and here, that one pays off big time.
And you have to think to yourself, not only did that pay off big time for them, but what was going on the opposite side of the ball? They know that they have to take a chance here. They know they have to come up with something big, yet it still happens. So credit the execution, but wonder what the defense was doing.
The PAT good. It would draw him closer, but hold on just a second. A flag is down on the field.
Roughing a kicker. Defense.
Charles, they're trying to protect this lead late. Those are the types of mistakes they could afford to go without.
About the last thing you want to give them is help in completing a comeback, which is exactly what that penalty does.
After the roughing penalty on the PAT, they'll kick off from 15 yards further upfield. And to no one's surprise here in Denver, that'll carry through the back of the end zone for a touchback. Denver's offense now set to go. Their lead back down to 1 score after the touchdown a moment ago. First down's a must on this drive as they start out here 1st and 10. Looking to put a drive together. They'll start with a handoff to Dobbins. And it's a good acceleration there as he's across midfield to the 48-yard line. That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a 1st down.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a 1st down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
And he'll be taken down right around the 41-yard line. Solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
I know that every now and then we get in those meetings with coaches, and you almost want to roll your eyes when they talk about staying on schedule when they're moving the football. But would you say a 7-yard run is ahead of schedule?
4th quarter with a lead, you love that, don't you?
No doubt about it, because staying on schedule is trying to get 4 downs on 1st down. They did that, +3.
And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Titans' 25-yard line. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
1st and 10 at the 25-yard.
This is something you got to be wary of defensively. I mean, just because they're in the mode of trying to burn some clock doesn't mean they won't pass it. They got good yardage out of that one.
Yeah, and really, when you're looking at it, now they've got a fresh set of downs. Look for second down. If they want to take another shot and try and loosen things up, that'd be the time to do it.
And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last two plays.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomped down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. They'll run with Dobbins. And now, defensively, they're going to burn their first time out. Remember, they get an extra time built in coming up here shortly at the 2-minute warning.
All of a sudden, those lanes that were there earlier in the drive dry up near the goal line. That's a good job defensively to diagnose the run and stop it for a very short pickup.
Second and goal from inside the 5. Dobbins once more. And this time he'll get in. Touchdown, Denver.
Well, this offensive line has really stepped up to the challenge here because those mastodons, they've been sensational in clearing holes all game long. And this is great work down here near the goal line to get their back the space he needs to work his way into the end zone.
Lutz to try to add the PAT. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So the drive there took 6 plays. And it's finished off by a touchdown run from J.K. Dobbins. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. So here is Cam Ward and the Titans down by 2 touchdowns, 2:19 to play. They have 2 timeouts and the 2-minute warning to work with, but they also need 2 scores. They've got to go quick. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line.
Brings up 2nd and 2 at the 33-yard line.
Two minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Titans in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. It's caught, Lockett, and brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line.
The Titans, first down. 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line.
The 2 timeouts still remaining, but scoring quickly, a must. It's 1st and 10. Throwing is Ward. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down.
Ooh, that's certainly not the worst thing. It stops the clock and lets your offense catch its breath and lets us exhale a little bit. Now I expect them to call a couple plays in the huddle so they're ready if a tackle happens inbounds.
Throwing now, Ward. Short throw taken in by Okonkwo. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches as we just saw him do there because He really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point of attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days. But you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
Just a simple run play there on 3rd and 1, but this D was up to the challenge and stopped him, bringing up 4th down.
Boy, hard to catch your breath. Another big play looming. 4th and 3. Pass taken in by his big tight end. Now Tennessee going to use the second of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 55 seconds remaining in the football game.
An 8-yard pickup. First down, Tennessee.
Well, they need to score, and score quick. One timeout remaining. Final minute. 1st and 10. Middle of the field to Jefferson. Here's 2nd down. Operating from the gun. Moore. Left side complete to Lockett. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
They'll come up 1st and 10 here. Working out of the gun here, Ward. They'll lock it with a grab over the middle. Now the Titans will use their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 22 ticks to go in the 4th.
First down, Titans.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. To throw is Ward. And that is incomplete. 16 seconds now on the clock.
And let's face it, this defense has had its share of struggles all game long, and they know that they can put it all behind them if they defend well here in the 2-minute drill. Excellent coverage right there to force the incompletion.
The ball on the 16 for 2nd and 10. Ward to throw once more. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
Boy, this crowd is on pins and needles now, because anytime you see the ball heading for the end zone, you really hold your breath, and they come out of their seats. That one falls incomplete.
Well, this crowd is making an impact right now. 3rd and 10. Back to throw again. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked up by Pat Surtain. And the Broncos will take over here at their own 12-yard line.
The Broncos take over 1st and 10 at their own 12-yard line.
Third and long that time. He was trying to make something happen, but a little too risky.
Well, the field tilted on him, and what I mean by that is what you said. 3rd and long, got to push it downfield to try and pick up the 1st down. Defensive backs live for this situation, and they took advantage of the young man right there.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And they've got this one in hand. No timeouts remaining defensively, so this one should just be one kneel and then handshakes. And he is going to be stopped here at the line of scrimmage, and time is going to expire in this football game.
Brings up 2nd and 11.
Well, this was a very close ball game at halftime, Charles, but in the second half, that offense kind of kicked things into another gear, and they were able to pull away for the victory.
Yeah, Brandon, I think they're the type of team that just looked in the mirror and said, hey, ton of pressure on, but we're the type of team that can flat out handle it. They stood up with confidence, and made it happen for a victory.
So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. The Broncos are winners as we say so long from Denver.